Well, this week in Bloomberg, I thought this was, I like the headline. It said, home prices rise in glamour cities, including San Francisco. So I didn't know if you guys knew it, but we live in a glamour city.
Yeah, they've been the Tenderloin lately.
But it was just interesting in that, we've talked about the inventory really tightening up, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that even though there's a huge shadow inventory of non-performing home loans out there, the banks have not been foreclosing at the rate they were foreclosing a year ago and 2 years ago and 3 years ago. They've really slowed that down. Fewer homes are going to auction, meaning fewer homes are becoming bank-owned, and therefore fewer homes are being released on the market for sale. And that, combined with the fact that people who want to sell are underwater and therefore can't sell their homes, we have a very, very low inventory of product right now, and that is causing a little mini bubble, not necessarily a return of a strong real estate market, but just simply supply and demand is causing prices to increase. And it's just very interesting that prices are up annually in San Francisco. It says here in the article, San Francisco home prices rose at a 16% annual rate in the 3 months that ended April. So,
wow.
So that's
tax
just
season.
yeah,
Wow.
and that's according to Kay Schiller, which is one of the experts in tracking this information. So, I just and again, I think it's a false bubble, really, and the big fear is okay, well, what are banks going to do with all that those performing home loans out there?
I don't know that San Francisco or the Bay Area in general is a false bubble. I mean, it didn't get hit anywhere near as hard as almost everywhere else in the country did when real estate prices, even say in Marin County, went down 35%, and the city hardly got hit at all.
Yeah.
Very little.
Well, as a backup to that article, there's a follow-up piece. I saw another publication, and they're talking about one of the things driving it were two main components. One was that the mid-market neighborhood, where I think Twitter and Zynga are located, and they got exempted from the city payroll tax. And they said now, like, the Mission's blowing up, and people are wanting to live in the Mission, and the rents in the Mission are huge. I was talking to someone down there this week. They said it's unbelievable. I mean, you're getting $2,500 for a flat in the Mission now. That was unheard of a couple years ago. And then secondly, I don't know if you guys are in the city a lot. I'm in there for business, but they have these buses going through town. You're like, that's not a tourist bus. That's not a muni bus. It's not hitting anybody. It is. Pardon, sorry. It's actually a bus going to Google or some of the other campuses down the South Bay, and there's a route they run around the city, like through Noe Valley or through Glen Park. Huh. And actually, it was on the news this week. If you have a home in that neighborhood within walking distance, within 2 or 3 blocks of those stops, it's a gold mine.
Yeah, it says here.
Rental, yeah.
You're absolutely right. It says talked about the Noe Valley and Dolores Heights neighborhood. Multiple offers. Here it talks about a fixer 3-bedroom had 12 bids and is in contract for more than $1.5 million. That's just unbelievable for a fixer 3-bedroom. So,
yeah, no, it's the city's driving itself right now. It's really amazing.
That is incredible.
It's an own microeconomy.
Okay, Robert, you were telling us off air something about paint and the lack thereof.
Oh, this
Quick little
was
story
sort of made my day this morning. I went to the paint store and hadn't been there for a long time, and the prices were a shock to me how expensive paint is. And the gentleman at the paint store said that their store is a big national store, and they almost ran out of paint last year. They almost didn't have enough paint to supply their clients, and the reason was partially that all the ingredients that are going into makeup paint are limited compared to what they used to be, and there's markets. We're now in a world economy, and China is buying up those ingredients more than they ever used to, and India is buying up those ingredients. And one of the ingredients is a surfactant, which is used in paint. And I remember hearing that word as he reminded me that when the oil spill in the Gulf last year, they tried to put chemicals into the water to make the oil coalesce and drop to the bottom, and that was surfactants, the same surfactants that are used in paint. So it just made me realize how in this world we're in, it really is a global world, and we are not insulated from what's going on all over
Is China,
the world.
are they beautifying the country by painting it, other than drab green?
I think it's mostly primer.
That's my favorite color.
So we were so close to running out of paint last year, and the public didn't even know it. It was almost like the
No.
Bay of Pigs. you
And
know,
now, if
it's
they
like-
could get rid of it, yeah, really, if they could get rid of spray paint so that they
Yeah.
don't get all that graffiti, I wouldn't be too upset with that. They should make spray paint like, $100 a can. Then maybe a lot of these yahoos that were trying to, beautify the city with their graffiti.
Oh, for the artists.
or the artists, yeah,
Right.
exactly. That's what we call
Whenever
them,
whenever
artists.
they paint a tree, man, it just breaks me because they have to cut the tree apart sometimes to get that paint off. It's awful.
I haven't
It's
seen it too much on trees. I usually
Oh,
see it on
in the
buildings.
city? Oh man, they get it in the trees and it's
Oh.
awful.
Oh, that
it's
is
really
awful.
disturbing. They scrape the tree and sometimes they damage it. It's just really a bad thing. It's just not.
I mean, it
I'm
doesn't
not
do
young
anybody
anymore,
any
so.
good.
Yeah.
Before we cut out for our thoughts for the day, any last words of wisdom for our listeners there, Lou?
Well, I'd say this: patience rules the day. We could get through this and be okay, and that's where you have to
The
be
poet.
careful.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, your poet didn't even know it.
That's the way it works right now. Poetry is the only thing leading us to any real promise in the future. But
Can I invest in poetry?
well, yeah, collectibles are a hedge fund item. I know that much. But the end result is this: you got to hold on. Not because there's no better option. I'll do the Dana Carvey, 1,000 points of light. Again,
Yeah.
the real truth of it is, if things end up being okay or even moderately slow, it is a big if. I will admit it's a big if, but you have to be patient. If it comes through, we'll be all right.
All right. Here are our thoughts for the day, and on that, words of wisdom. Who tastes dog food when it has a new and improved flavor?
I love alcohol.
And the things that come to those who wait may be the things left by those who got there first. Think
Right.
about that. And with that imparted wisdom, tune in next week to the Best of Investing. We're going to be giving away 9 more free vacations for answering trivia questions. Thanks for listening. On behalf of our team, I'm Edward Brown. We're wishing you the best of investing. So long.